in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
And y'all know we back at y'all with another recap of the college football season, the first round of the playoffs.
Yes, it was exciting, man. Some good games.
It was definitely some good games. Friday, I knew Indiana was going to lose to Notre Dame. I actually thought Notre Dame was going to win by a little more.
Hold up, man. How you just figure they were going to lose? What made you think they were going to lose?
I didn't think so. The way Indiana played Ohio State, because they got blew out by Ohio State, and Ohio State was the first, I guess, good team, quote unquote, good team that they've played, or even top or ranked team rather, and they didn't play good against Ohio State. So I figured they weren't going to play good against Notre Dame, which I guess I don't know if they played decent or if Notre Dame just didn't play to their full potential, but they only won by 10 points, 17-27. Like I said, I was expecting it to be a wider gap than that.
Do you think it was because Indiana had like a cupcake schedule all year? They didn't play the tougher talent. So
I think that could be it because like we said, they didn't. I think Ohio State was the only ranked team that they played.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I don't even think they played in the I don't think they play in their I don't think they played in the conference championship because I think the loss to Ohio State booted them from the conference championship.
You're right. I think, like you said, I thought the game was going to be a blowout.
I did too. So they actually played better than I expected them to, which made it good because it made for a good game.
Yeah.
And it kind of lessened people's opinion, I guess, of why the SEC why more teams from the SEC should have been in.
Correct. Yep.
Next game was SMU Penn State. Penn State blew out SMU. That is like I've said before, Penn State's defense.
Now, if we talk about a cupcake schedule, Penn State got the road to the championship game. This is
you talking about through the playoffs?
Through the playoffs, man. Cupcakes.
Yeah, they do.
Come on.
They do. They got because I mean now they're going up against Boise State, and we know going up against Boise State if they can contain Ashton Genty, they will win that game.
Correct.
But they have to contain them. But their defense, like I said, their defense is what really won them that game yesterday because the offense didn't have to play as good because the defense had 2 touchdowns.
That's true. All right. So my question is, I'm asking you your eye test yesterday. You feel like they lean more on the run or they try to pass a little bit too much?
I think yesterday I think they did pretty decent yesterday because if you look he only had 127 passing yards.
Yeah.
And they won by 28 points, which I think is good for them in a sense because it shows that they didn't have to pass the ball yesterday.
Do you think they will keep running the ball like this, or what do you think?
I think they need to, but I think it's going to depend on who they play.
Okay.
Like I said, Boise State, if they can stop Ashton Genty, they can control the game. They don't have to throw as much. Now, when I guess the issue is. If they do beat Boise State, the next team they'll play, I believe, is either Notre Dame or Georgia.
Yeah.
If they play Notre Dame, I think they can stick with. I think they'll be able to stick with their run game. I think if they play Georgia, I think it depends on which Georgia team you get.
Which Carson Beck shows up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So if Georgia comes out and starts throwing the ball, putting up points to keep up with them, they're going to have to throw the ball.
Yes.
But if their defense can play like they played yesterday, and they can control Carson Beck, I think they can run the ball and control the game.
Okay.
Because I think the reason I say I think running the ball helps them because obviously their strength is their defense and their running game. So they got 2 good running backs, so they can rotate them out. Whichever one is hot is whichever one you put in and give the ball to. And I think if they are able to do that, then they can speed the game up and then count and then put the game in the hands of their 2 running backs and then their defense.
Correct. I agree.
Texas beat Clemson by 14.
Great game, though. Great game.
That was a good game.
Yes.
Do you think it would have been a blowout if your boy would have played?
Yes.
Or do you think it would have been the same issue?
No, man. We already know. I'm rolling with Arch. Like, if Arch had played, the team just looks different. I think that's going to bite Texas. Don't get me wrong. I think Texas will kill Arizona State. But I think next year we'll see a big difference.
I agree. I think
go ahead.
I was going to say what put Texas or what won Texas that game is their 2 running backs.
Yes.
Once again, we're talking about 2 running backs.
Yes, I agree.
That play a major role.
But if Arch in the game, you ain't got to lean on the run game as much. I'm just saying.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Because yesterday, Jadon Blue had 146 yards, and Quatravion Wisner had over 100 yards.
Yeah. Yep.
So when you got 2 running backs over 100 yards, your quarterback play don't have to be as strong.
Yes.
But I think their defense played pretty decent. I don't know if they can play that kind of defense. Of course, I think against their next team, I think they're good.
Yeah, Arizona State, yeah.
Arizona State, I think they're good. I think because now you got Ohio State and Oregon, whichever one of them 2 teams win, their defense is going to have to play a whole lot.
I'm ready for it, though. I know we still got to talk about the Ohio State game. I'm ready for that game already.
So, who do you think? So, obviously, you think Texas is going to beat Arizona State.
When you talked about the Ohio State game, calm down. Back up a little bit, Tony. Yep, back up.
Well, we were already on Texas, which is why I just
okay. All right, go ahead.
Who do you think? Do you think Texas is going to beat Arizona State? And if you think so, do you think they're going to win convincingly, or do you think it's going to be a close game?
I think they'll win by 18.
You think 18?
18.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it depends. On because for them to win, I think, or not win, for them to win convincingly against a good team, I think the running backs and Quinn Ewers have to have a great game.
Yeah.
Which yesterday they all had a good game. Not putting anything past because they all had great games.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't expect Clemson to beat them anyway. And with Arizona State, they're kind of like the Indiana team. I don't know what to expect from them going up against a highly ranked team.
They played tougher competition, though. I will say that Arizona State has.
They definitely played tougher competition. I just don't know what to expect from them going up against the number 5 team in the country.
Yeah,
because I don't think I don't even know who's the highest ranked team they've played, but I don't think they've played any of these major powerhouse schools like your Georgias, Texas, Ohio State teams like that. So I think it'll actually be a pretty decent game.
I agree.
Ohio State and Oregon is going to be a great game because
back up, man. Back up.
What?
We ain't talked about Ohio State versus Tennessee.
Oh, my bad. Okay. So Ohio State versus Tennessee. Jeremiah Smith had a great game.
Let's talk about it. That boy bad.
Yes.
He bad.
Yes. He is going to be their key to winning.
But he shouldn't have to be, though.
He shouldn't because once again, we're going back to 2 running backs.
Yes.
They got 2 great running backs. But I think he's going to be – I think Jeremiah Smith, even if I don't say key, I think he's a secret weapon to win. Even though he's a big-time receiver.
Ain't no secret.
And he's a big-time receiver, and he's a freshman at that. Look how big he is as a freshman.
True freshman. Yeah.
225 pounds that can move the way he moves.
Yep.
So I would like to see them lean on the running game a little bit more and then hit him on play action.
Yeah.
because you got two running backs who you can give the ball to, two running backs who can go off at any time. So I think you got to utilize that a lot more and then open him up with the play action.
I agree.
Because if you put him one-on-one with any corner in the country, he's highly favored to win. So if you force a team to stack the box to respect the run, that leaves him open.
Yep.
So I think they have to lean on that. Their defense played really good yesterday too, because Tennessee could not get anything going.
Was it the defense or was it the bad decision making of the Tennessee quarterback? I'm just asking. He made some terrible decisions.
He did. He's also a freshman too.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
but his legs is what got them the little bit that they did get.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think he did have some horrible decision making. He is going to be interesting to see within the next couple of years.
Well, I agree. I think next year a lot of great quarterbacks in college football. So, and he's one of my top to watch next year.
Yes, I think he's gonna have a real shot at Heisman next year too.
Yeah,
because he's coming back. He's coming back as an experienced quarterback, and they're going to lose a lot. Their defense was key this year. They're losing a lot of defenders this year.
Okay,
not a lot. They're losing a couple, and I also think Dylan Sampson might be leaving too. I think he might be a senior.
Hey man,
I'm not 100% sure, but if he leaves, or actually I'm looking at now, he's a junior. So It depends on what he comes back to. He comes back next year, they're going to have a real shot at national.
He can go pro though. I'm telling you, he's talented.
I know that's why I'm wondering what he's going to do next year.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Ohio State versus Oregon? Do you think it's going to be a close game like last time?
Yes, and I'm rolling with Ohio State pulling out. Ohio State is one of my dog horse teams to win the whole thing. I'm just being honest.
I think Ohio State can win it. I think their defense is going to have to play like they played yesterday. If their defense plays like they played yesterday, I think Ohio State can win it.
They don't have to, though. Think about it. When they played Oregon before, the defense didn't play that great, and they still were in the game.
Defense played good, though.
I mean, but not great.
It was correct.
Yeah.
But I think if the defense plays great, I think they can easily beat Oregon.
If Ohio State runs the ball on first down, not second down, first down, they can win.
Yeah, because Oregon has a good secondary, but I don't think they have a matchup for Jeremiah Smith.
They don't, man.
Jeremiah Smith he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
And he can catch the ball. He knows he can catch the ball. He's fast. He's quick. Like I said, you put him one-on-one with any corner in the country, I'll throw him that 50-50 ball.
Yeah, he gonna win that.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be a good game. That's good. I think that's going to be the game to watch because the winner of that game, I think, is going to have a real shot.
Yes, I agree.
Georgia plays Notre Dame. Yep. We're talking about that game. I think Notre Dame's going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to give it to Love and let him run the ball and control the clock.
It's a toss-up game, man, because you don't know what Georgia team is going to show up.
Exactly, because we know Georgia's defense is good.
Yes,
but Georgia's offense they're very spotty.
Yep.
And with Carson Beck, he might come out and throw 5 interceptions, or 5 touchdowns, or he might come out and throw 4 interceptions.
But we've seen him throw 3 interceptions in the first half and come back and down in the second half. So it's like we don't know what Georgia team is going to show up. Notre Dame, if they run the ball, hit the tight end, run the ball, play good defense, they got to play consistent football throughout the whole game to win. They do. And Georgia's going to make a rally. So
you said what?
Georgia's going to make a rally in the game. They're going to have a spurt where they play great. You just got to withstand it.
Yes, and I think that's a good point because even like if you see when they played Alabama the first time, Alabama was up 2 or 3 touchdowns. Georgia lost the game. Georgia still came back and was able to fight till the last minute of the game.
Exactly.
And that was, like you said, it's after he threw 3 interceptions in the first half.
Yeah.
So, and also I think it's going to depend on if Carson Beck is healthy, because if you remember last game they played, Carson Beck down with that elbow injury. So I think it's going to depend on how healthy he is also.
I agree.
Because if I don't doubt he's going to play, I think he's going to play. But if he takes too many hits, I wonder what's going to happen if he's going to be able to withstand it.
Who you got winning the game though?
Who do I have winning the game? I got Georgia winning.
Okay.
By very, very. I think it's going to be a close game, so I got Georgia winning by a narrow margin.
Okay. No, I'm gonna do it. No, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Notre Dame.
Notre Dame
by 3.
At this point, who do you have winning it all? Just based off what you've seen so far, who do you have winning it all?
I'm gonna say between 2 teams. Well, I gotta pick one team. I got Ohio State winning it all, but my second team would be Texas.
Okay. I got Penn State, and then Oregon. The reason I don't throw Ohio State in there is because Ohio State has had a problem in big games.
Okay.
That's the only reason I don't throw Ohio, because Ohio State lost to Michigan. So, but then they turn around and beat these great teams. So it's like they're kind of like Georgia. Which Ohio State team are you getting?
But they really was right there with Oregon in the first game. That's why I think
they were
making an adjustment and beat Oregon in the second game.
They were, and I also, even though I say they lost to Michigan was unranked at the time. That's kind of like a Duke Carolina thing. That's a rivalry. So they're like, one team could be number 1 in the country, the other team could be number 60 or 70 in the country, and it's gonna be a shootout.
And we talked about this a few weeks ago. When you really look at Oregon's schedule, they only played 2 good teams.
Yes.
So does the cupcake schedule hurt them as well? We will find out.
What?
They played Ohio State. They played Boise State.
They played Penn State in the if you look at it, all the ranked games they played, the games have been very close.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
you got a point.
Are they as good as we think they are? You gotta find out. Now they're playing teams as good as they are. So
that's a great point, and that's going to be. I think we can say the same thing about Boise State too, because the only ranked team Boise State has played, if I'm not mistaken, is Oregon.
They played another ranked team early in the season, but I can't remember who it was.
They played UNLV. I don't think UNLV was ranked when they played.
Yeah, they weren't ranked then.
But that's going to be interesting, because even when they played Oregon, they only lost. I think they lost by less than a touchdown.
But we know Boise State gonna do what they do. They gonna get the ball 30 times,
and they're going to do it, and they're going to say stop it, because the whole country knows what they're going to do. So if I was I would stack the box, and I would put my trust in my 4 DBs to stop the run or to stop the pass.
I agree. Yeah,
because I mean, like I said, 100% what they're going to do. Is your job to line up and stop Ashton Jeanty.
Exactly. Yep.
So I think it'll be interesting.
So who you got win the game between Penn State, Boise State?
I got Penn State.
Of course.
And I say Penn State because Penn State has a better all-around team. Boise State, they got a running game. They got a hell of a running game, but they got a running game.
I'm going to do it just to be different. I'm going to go with the underdog in this game. Boise State by 3.
By 3.
By 3.
I'm going to say Penn State by at least 2 touchdowns.
Okay. All right.
But as we've seen this year, Penn State plays to the competition a lot.
Man, they don't get out there and throw the ball 40 times in the game. Like, what are you doing?
Which is going to hurt them.
Yep.
You got 2 great running backs. Hand the ball off and control the clock.
Yes.
Because that's what Boise State's going to do. Boise State's going to run the ball.
Yep.
No matter what the situation is, they're going to run. So
it has the potential to be a very ugly game, though.
I think so.
If both teams just come out and play their style of football, it'll be a very slow game, boring game.
Yeah, because it'll be like it'll, like you said, it'll be a very defensive game
Yes.
because they're both running teams. So if they come out and run the ball 30 to 40 times a game or 30 to 40 times per, then it'll be a slow defensive game. Which
That runs the clock though. If you play that type of football, you gotta score.
oh yeah, definitely, and that's where I think Penn State will have the upper hand because Penn State has a better passing game than Boise State.
Correct.
Because they got Tyler Warren, who is probably the best tight end in the country right now.
That boy animal. Like, he's nice.
So you got Boise State, I got Penn State. Or no, I'm sorry, you got Ohio. I'm winning it all. You got Ohio State winning it all. I got Penn State winning it all. Obviously, after this week, we'll see whether we got another shot.
I gotta put an asterisk in there. Now, if Texas switch quarterbacks, I switch. I'm just saying.
They ain't gonna switch it. The only way they switch at this point is if Quinn Ewers goes down.
Okay.
I think that's the only way they switch, unless Quinn Ewers comes out and starts the game in the first half with like 3 interceptions. And even then, if he comes out and starts throwing a lot of interceptions, I think they only make the change if they're down. If they're still in the game, I don't think they make that change.
That's not fair to Arch, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. I think, like you said, I think the team has a different swag when Arch is in the game.
They do.
But I think Arch is going to have to wait till next year for his time.
Okay.
Unless, like I said, unless Quinn Ewers goes down, that's going to be the only time I see Arch getting into the game. Unless, like I said, unless he comes out and just bombs it and they're down by 2 touchdowns or whatever, then I think they'll make the switch. But other than that, I think Quinn Ewers this is Quinn Ewers' team this year.
Yeah.
Any other games or any other predictions you got as far as any? Of course,
not really, man. I think this is going to be these 4 games going to be exciting.
Yes, they are because they're going to be very exciting games. They play Saturday. They play on the 31st.
I'm not sure.
I think they play. Let's see. They have to play next week.
Okay.
So they play. So Penn State and Boise State plays on the 31st, and the rest of the games are on the 1st.
Okay. So New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. All right.
Yeah, they play New Year's Eve at 7:30, and then 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 8:45 on New Year's Day. So I think it'll be some good games. I think definitely, those are definitely going to be games to watch.
Okay.
And I am still mad that because the national championship game is on the 20th, which I think they need to change that. I've talked about that for years. The national championship game, for whatever reason, is always on a Monday.
Oh, because you got to work on Tuesday. You want it to be changed? Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's the same way with the Super Bowl, though. Super Bowl's on a Sunday. Like, I understand most NFL games are on Sunday, but play on Saturday. Play the Super Bowl on Saturday. Play the national championship on Saturday.
Just be tired when you go to work.
I always am tired, which is why I'm complaining. But or at least if you can play a Sunday, play it earlier in the day.
Man, listen, man. Just enjoy the way it is.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be some, like I said, I think it's going to be some good games coming up, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next couple of weeks of college football to see what's going to happen.
Yes, I agree, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah, so we'll be back on here after, probably after New Year's, in reference to college football to kind of give you a recap of those games and see where our predictions fall.
Yeah.
Until then, like we always say, if y'all want to throw in y'all's input, leave us a message or leave us a comment on the video or send us your email address. We'll get you on the video. We'll get you on the podcast. You can throw out your predictions of college football and what y'all think is going to happen. And as we always say before we get off every podcast, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Who the love, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm tryna understand.